Welcome back to Fox and Friends. A University of Southern California professor is refusing to back down after students demanded he remove a Blue Lives Matter flag from outside his office. Professor James Moore teaches statistics at USC, and he joins us now. Professor, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's get right into it. Do you think that you would be facing this kind of pressure if you had hung a BLM flag outside of your office?
I can't imagine that I would. I think this is, I don't think they like the message.
So you are a statistics professor, and your background is part of the reason why you refuse to take this flag down. So tell me, what does statistics tell you about black citizens and their threat from police officers?
Well, I think that I'm a little bit unhappy with, I don't want to call it a narrative because that I think dignifies it a bit, but the premise, the story that black folks are at particular risk from police violence, that's not accurate. I think it's an act of, I'll call it what I think it is. I think it's a lie, and I wanted to send a counter message. I wanted to make the point that in fact black lives benefit rather strongly, disproportionately from the activities of police, that we cannot diminish police violence by diminishing policing, that's nonsense. That black lives are at greatest risk from reduced police service, that if we're serious about protecting everybody, if all lives matter and black lives in particular matter, then we need to make sure that they're secure.
So you have students that want you to take down the flag. You had an administrator ask you to take down the flag. I'm just curious, what's it like to be you at USC right now?
I feel a little bit of responsibility right now. I wanted to communicate to progressively oriented students that there's a competing point of view. They live in something of a progressive bubble on a college campus. USC is pretty representative in that respect. And I wanted to communicate to conservative students, of which there are many, that in fact they're entitled to their voice, that the messages they hear are really not representative of society at large. They get constant messaging from the senior leadership of the institution, from the leadership of their schools, from the rank and file faculty, that the world is a progressive place and the progressive point of view is the one that we should buy into. And they suspect otherwise, and I wanted to alert them to the fact that they're entitled to those suspicions. So to be me right now is just to feel a little responsibility to my students.
All right. We got a statement from USC. They said the university does not have a policy that limits the display of materials in spaces like this, though we are looking at whether it is needed. Professor Moore, you're doing a lot to bring about intellectual diversity on campus, and we thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course.